Can you hear me?
Yo,
You can hear me.
I can hear you.
Welcome back,
Man.
Nicholas. Yeah, look good.
Thanks.
Look good. I know I just talked to you
Thank you.
before. It's not the first time I've seen your office. Now it's the second time I've seen your office.
That's right.
I love your office. It's very professional.
Which tickets are those
Thank
back
you.
there?
Those are actually those tickets are. You mean on the back wall back here?
Yep.
So back in the day, Mikey will remember this. I don't even think they do this anymore. They did baseball cards.
Yes.
And so
The original NFT.
And so those
Yep.
are. Yeah, the original. There you go. Yeah, so those are the baseball cards back in 2009 when we all played together. So I got everybody's framed, and I think I got everyone signed by all of our teammates. So
You were
my dad gave me that for a gift.
You were a big team sign. So when we won Omaha that year, we had the chairs that we all stole from the locker room, and you had the idea of getting everybody to sign it. And now looking back, like that was a genius idea. But I was 19 years old, and I didn't think like I don't want anybody to sign this. Like I just want to have it. And now I don't ever use the chair. I'm like shit. I definitely should have had people sign that. Like,
And that carried over to Mikey's professional career where he got no jersey swaps.
No jersey swaps. I know that was my fault too.
Well, you know what was weird is we all have all the bags and everything, and we hop on the charter flight in Omaha to come back to the whole celebration in Baton Rouge, and every one of us is carrying our bags on one arm, and we're carrying these freaking locker room chairs in our other arm.
Yeah,
and everybody's like, why are y'all carrying chairs? What is the purpose of the chairs? And back in the day, anything's free, you're taking it.
That's
so
it.
we were just like, let's
honestly,
take the chairs.
it wasn't supposed to be.
Deal.
It wasn't supposed to be free. We just told the security guy, "Hey, if we win Omaha, we're taking these chairs." He goes, "Okay."
We're taking these chairs.
You let him take it. He let us take it.
That's right. Good times, good memories.
Great memories. Speaking of great memories, some of my favorite baseball memories were one, growing up watching LSU play, and that was your brother was part of that, and then two, being able to go through LSU and being part of the Wally Pontiff Junior Classic in New Orleans, and that game is being held in Baton Rouge tomorrow against ULL, and this is the last Wally Pontiff game ever, correct?
That's right. This is it.
Why is that one?
Finality.
And two, like, what kind of went into those conversations of making this the last one?
Yeah. So this is the 17th one, Mikey, if you can believe it. It still feels like, man, I'll tell you, it still feels like, I've never come to the people say, oh, you miss Wally. Like, yeah, I miss him, but it still feels like in my head that I'm this 16-year-old brother. He's the 21-year-old brother that's still up at college playing baseball, and I don't think it's ever truthfully set in that he is gone. So in this weird facet of my 6 inches between my head, it's hard for me to even grasp that it's been 20 years since his passing in the 17th game. But So yeah, there's a combination of events that happened with the foundation, and I'll go through it. But we had, Mikey, because you have a foundation, and you know the rigors and the difficulties with managing a foundation is that you got to have an executive director. And so we had an outstanding executive director, and unfortunately, catastrophic. She had complications from COVID and passed away in 2021.
Wow.
And so we lost our executive director. And then you couple that with Zephyr Field. The Zephyrs moved to Wichita, right? And so they were the lessor or the lessees of the Shrine on Airline. And so when they leave, you don't have anybody managing the field, keeping up the field, and so the field is now a rugby field, if you can believe it. Wow. So there's no stadium to basically play in down in the New Orleans area. So we lost that access. And so this game was actually supposed to be played in Baton Rouge in 2020. And then COVID hit, supposed to be played again in 2021. COVID was still there. So we weren't able to do that. And so now is really, it was supposed to be the last one in 2019 or 2020. This is the final one. And we're like super thankful, like overly thankful to LSU for giving us basically a home game that they're giving up for us to have one final hoorah for the foundation and the classic, and to basically bring Wally back to the box for one last time.
No doubt. I'm going to be there. Obviously, thank you to you for
Thank
hooking
you.
me up with 2 tickets. I will be there with my wife. Is there anything special going on that y'all are going to do, being that it's the last game? And are there obviously tickets still available? If people want tickets, how do they find them? All of those good things.
Yeah, thank you, Mikey. So number one, if you've ever been to a Classic, probably one of the most, at least for me, and I think others would probably lament with this fact, one of the coolest parts is the tribute video. So the tribute video still being there due to SEC Network and the various pressures that be with you guys organizing the media and all those sorts of organizations.
Hey, don't put me. Don't put me.
It's great. No. It's great. It's great. But we don't have 3 minutes and 15 seconds in between innings to basically show the video. So the video's moved. So if you're coming to the game and you want to see the video, 6:17, the video will be. Well, I just got the pregame lineup. 6:17. So before the game, get there early. The video will show at 6:17, and it will run in its entirety. So that's really cool. But outside of that, this is really a standard LSU game being run by LSU. We really have no control over it. Like I said, they're basically giving us a game. We're receiving the ticket sales, the proceeds of the ticket sales for the game. So we're basically leasing the field from them for one game. So that's being done. And then if you would like to buy tickets, there are still plenty available. It's supposed to be a nice, beautiful night. Thankfully, the weather held off. You can go to the LSU ticket office. You can call up them or call them up, and you can buy it over the phone, or you can go to lsutickets.net, tix.net. We would love to see you out there. And like I said, all ticket sales, every single dollar of it goes to the foundation.
Love that. I will be there. Everybody else should be there.
Thank you.
The tribute video is one of my favorite things I get to see because even when you're playing, like that's kind of, like I said, I grew up an LSU baseball fan, and so I kind of know the history. And a lot of people here, obviously, going to the games are LSU baseball fans, not just from the last few years, but for their lifetime. So being able to see those videos and kind of go back in time and just kind of see everything and see because Wally, to me, is what epitomizes LSU baseball, right? Just the way he played and how he was and all those things. So I got to watch the video, and it was before the game, and I always was like, man, this is like,
Tears?
I should probably, it was like, I should probably record this and watch this before every game. Like, it was just one of those things that kind of got me in the right state of mind.
So you got to go video, then eye black, just in case.
I wasn't an eye black guy.
Yeah, Bangs guy.
Come on. No eye black. I didn't have much swag on the field, outside of screaming when I made a play or something.
Well, here's the difference. You didn't have all the belongings that they have now. You just put it. You let that exhibit through your play, which is what we should do more often, right? That's what we should do. Hey,
that's a perfect segue into Floyd wants to ask you a question.
Oh, I was going to say, does everybody go pants up for the Pontiff Classic?
Yeah. So
everybody goes pants up. I love that tradition if they keep it going.
I don't know if there are.
Thank you, Floyd. I would love that.
I think my name's Floyd.
So hold on. So let me think. Your name is Floyd, right?
No, it's Lloyd, but I call him Floyd.
It's Floyd.
Sean Ochinko is the one who gave him that nickname Floyd, so I call him Floyd.
All right, good. Well, I'll call you Lloyd or Floyd. Yeah,
Floyd.
You should Floyd. I like that. No, so the pants up was always when we were there. We did that in memory of him, and it carried through a few years. So look, this is 20. He passed away in 2002, so this is 20 years. So most of these kids weren't even alive that are playing in this game weren't even alive when he was playing. So I don't know. We'll see if somebody still is within the ranks of LSU and can get the guys to wear the pants up. But look, it's their game. It's their deal. It's their players. Whatever they want to do.
I'll send out a couple.
Mikey
texts.
Media can put a word in.
I'll send out a couple texts and see if I can't get the guys to buy in.
That's always super special.
Yeah, I'll see if I can't get that.
Know how superstitious guys.
No doubt.
You know how they can be superstitious, and
Speaking of,
especially the ones with bird legs.
Speaking of like the older and the newer and just the way that the game has changed, right? You are an LSU fan more than just playing there. You follow them, you watch them. They obviously got swept this weekend. You watched the Friday night game. I'm sure you've kept up with some of the scores throughout the course of the year.
Thursday night. Sorry,
Thursday
night.
Sorry,
Thursday
I know what you
night.
meant. Thursday night game.
Time and date.
Yes.
Yeah, it's it gets tricky sometimes. Mm-hmm. Time and date. I know we talked about that. You got to attention to detail, Floyd.
Yeah.
ATD.
But what have you seen from them as compared to like what you've seen in teams past, based off teams that you've played with, teams that you've seen, and just baseball in general over the last couple years?
Whew. That's a loaded question.
Yeah, I know.
We can talk about this for days. I think they've got the players. I think pitching lacks. I think that's I think that everybody knows that good
Starting
pitching beats
pitching,
good hitting
right?
every day of the week.
Yeah.
Right. So starting or any pitching, really, to me, any pitching beats good hitting every single day. So you always knew this team was going to come with the offense and with the bats, right? Because they had that power lineup, so to speak. But I'll tell you that to stay in the games, they had to pitch well, and they've got to play good defense. So I read it through the media and listen to whatever it is out there. And I know I'm talking in circles right now, and I'm trying not to. But I think there's so many different pieces. Yeah, there's so many different pieces that add into it. But I'll tell you, I think the number one thing is culture. It's not about the Jimmies and it's not about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmies and Joes. And then what comes with the Jimmies and Joes is they have to buy into the right culture. And so, look, we're in a transition period, right? We went from one head coach to a new head coach, and he's trying to figure out his Jimmies and Joes. And I think he's trying to instill his culture. And so you've got to create buy-in, and you've got to create ownership. And I think the pace of play and the standard of play that we see is second to the culture, and I think they're trying to build the culture. So when you ask me how do I think they are on the field, it's hard to even give a qualified answer to that, because I think if you ask Coach Jay Johnson, he would be like, look, you guys are all worried about the wins and losses. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out who I got, how to manage them, how to execute them properly. You know what I mean? So I think they're working through that. Would be my long answer to that.
No doubt. And I talk about it all the time on the show. And when Jared's here, we talk a lot about is how close that we were as a team, right? Whether it was just 2009, even the years after that, and how much we hung out together, and how the locker room was fun, and how honestly, the biggest assets to that team were you and Buzzy and Mik'd. And y'all didn't play every day, but y'all were probably some of the best leaders on the team.
Dugout dogs.
Right. And so to me, that goes into your point about the culture. Is like you want to see these guys want to win for each other. If they don't want to win for each other, then they're not going to win at all, right? It's going to be a lot of individuals, and it's not going to. And I'm not saying that's how they are. I'm not saying that's what they're doing.
No,
but
I don't think you're saying that at all. Right.
But that is a big part of
everybody's
sports.
Trying to find their way.
Exactly.
Everybody's trying to find their way. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. No, I'm with you. I think coach is trying to find his way. Why? I think he's got a clear direction of where he needs to go. But look, ownership and buy-in takes time, Mikey. Right? Like you weren't there, but if you bring Paul Mainieri on right now and you ask him from the time he took over in 2007 or 2006 to where we got to in 2008 and 9, I mean, it was
you were right in the middle of it.
Roller coaster ride. Yeah, it was a roller coaster ride those first couple years, and it was very difficult. And he was trying to paint his picture of what he wanted, and then we had to eventually say, hey, we believe in Coach. We're going to buy into his system and his process, and then let's go play together, right? And then you got to have the right Jimmies and Joes on the field, right? So, like, all of that came to play in 08 and 09, and so I think it's very difficult to really critique. I mean, yes, you can critique the play that we're seeing right now, but it's difficult to critique how they're going to end up this year because it's a transitory period. It's a transition period. You know what I mean? And I don't, it's hard to, they very easily could go off on a run and that wouldn't surprise me, or they could go on a skid and that wouldn't surprise me either. Right. I think the only consistent thing we'll see is the inconsistency of this team for the remainder of the year.
I agree.
And that's by no knock at all. That's no knock at all to Coach Jay Johnson and his staff, but it's just the nature of when you take over a new team, there's going to be inconsistencies.
No doubt, and I think the SEC in general has a lot more parity in the league than they had in years past. Obviously, It was always top-heavy. It was always a good league, but now, I mean, A&M wasn't supposed to be what they're doing. They're 8-7 in the West. Arkansas is probably running away with the West right now. I don't see them going on a skid. They play too good a defense for them to go that way. Tennessee's running away with the East, right? So you have those two teams. But even Vanderbilt is, I think, 7-8 or 8-7 in conference play, and they weren't even ranked going into the weekend. So the parity of the SEC in general this year is very good, which makes it harder, which kind of goes into the inconsistency of a team with a new transitionary. How do you say this? How's that word? How does that word go?
Transitional,
I guess was the right word. Transitional period.
Yeah.
So you have a whole new staff and all new guys and stuff like that. But I'm with you. I think that the inconsistency is going to. But you're right. They could right the ship, somehow find the right mojo and end up going on a 12-game winning streak and be a national seed. But you never know.
No, when you see it, when you saw it happen with Mainieri's later years, is they would start off well, then go rocky to start SEC play, and then it literally once May hits, it's like all of a sudden all the stars align and they start taking off. And so I would not be shocked at all if that happens, because again, you're still trying to figure out who you got and what's your best options to win with the players that you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No doubt.
But I would tell you that it's definitely a different game, right? So it's definitely a different type of style of play that I think LSU is used to, or us fans are used to. And look, I loved Coach Mainieri. Smoke before him, I loved Smoke. I was a big Smoke guy as well. And then Bertman was incredible. This guy, Jay Johnson, I mean, you know this, Mikey. I don't think there's a coach in America that outworks him, right? So, like, that man, it lives, breathes, sleeps, eats at the field, right? And so when you've got that recipe of the hard work, the success will eventually come. It's just a matter of when it will come. You follow me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
I think part of the inconsistent, I think and he probably would allude to this. Again, this is just fandom speaking, but I think part of the inconsistencies that we're seeing is not because the players aren't good enough. I think it's more, and you can disagree with me or not, I think it's more because of the lack of the team buying into one another and rallying around a true leader, right? And inconsistencies normally play out when that happens. So I think the team's trying to figure out who the true leader is.
Yep.
And then I think once you identify that leader and you all start working together, unbelievable things normally come to fruition.
Yeah, I agree.
I know you platooned infield, outfield for LSU whenever you were here, but and I don't want to shit on Jordan Thompson, but he is going through it right now. So I'm just wanted to ask you, what can he do? Do we put hats on backwards? What do we wear? Do we nair the butthole? What do we have to do to be able to get Jordan Thompson right again? Because he was second team All SEC defensively last year, and just take me kind of to that place.
Yeah. Ooh. I don't think I'm the guy to ask for that, because coach will actually speak. He would speak to this if you asked him. Tennessee, 2007, we're playing at home. This is actually the year that I started. What's that?
You say you put your boots on, kicked a couple around?
Well, no, I was starting at second base, and I made 4 errors in one game.
Ooh.
All right, literally balls going through my legs. Single-handedly lost the game. I felt like tomatoes were being thrown at me on the field, like, boo, Pontiff, you suck. And it went on and on and on, and we lost, and that was a Saturday. And Mikey knows this. When you get to the field on Sunday, that's an early morning quick turnaround, right? Like you're there super early, especially if Tennessee, it's an 11 a.m. game because they got to get home to make their flight in time. But anyway, I get to the field at like 7 a.m. that morning.
Did you go out the night before?
Pontiff. No. In my locker, it said Pontiff left field, and there was an outfielder's glove in my locker. That was the last time I ever played infield for the LSU Tigers. That was the last time. So if you ask me, and Mikey can attest to this, we have a group text.
Yep.
I actually said on the group text after the game Thursday night, I said, Jordan Thompson's going to show up to the field tomorrow morning with an outfielder's glove in his locker. Because, I mean, look, that's the way Coach Mainieri would have handled it. Not saying, I don't believe that, like, everybody to each his own, but, like, he's in his own head. The guy can play defense. Mm-hmm. I know he can play defense. He's in his own head. So, but it's a matter of, can you get out of your own head? I mean, Chuck Knobloch never could make another throw to first base again. So, like, the mind games happen.
Yeah, it's a mental part of baseball is very, very hard.
Yeah, rather the outfield glove and the red tag. Make sure you make the rooster.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm with you. I think that I think he's athletic. I think he's a good defender. I think he's athletic. I think he's good enough to make all of the plays. He's got a great arm. I think that he is in his own head. I think that he's starting to count the bounces and like he's watching the ball. Like if you put him on the edge of the grass and you started peppering balls at him and he didn't have time to think, I think he'd make all the plays.
Take the cup out.
But the fact that he's playing shortstop,
take the cup out.
Ooh. The bold move.
That's a bold move. But I think the fact that he has a lot of time to think and make the plays, and they just baseball, the ball is always going to find you when you're struggling or if you're the new guy on the field, right? And so that's kind of what's happening. And it's not just him; he's not the only one making errors, right? It's going all around. The catchers aren't playing very well behind the dish defensively.
No,
they're making errors up both sides of the middle infield, second and short. There's just you have a lot of different things, and even plays that aren't errors that are just not being made. The plays that aren't being made that aren't considered errors that probably should have been made are happening, right? And like they have, whatever their fielding percentage is based off of errors this year, they could probably have, 6, 7, 10 more throughout the course of the year if you had a stricter scorekeeper, right? But, that's just the game of baseball.
Yeah.
Like this past weekend, Arkansas' scorekeeper was pretty generous to the Arkansas home team.
Very generous, yeah.
And, Thursday night game had one error. They probably could have had 3 or 4. So I'm with you. I think it's a mental thing for him.
Well, Mikey, I think what you're saying, that builds into exactly what we were talking about before this, is that the inconsistencies that we're seeing are not the norm for the guys on the field. And so what is that from? What is the cause of that? And I really do believe that the root cause of that is everybody's trying to identify the culture and how this whole thing will work simultaneously together, right?
Right.
Because right now it seems that if you're going to make those mental mistakes, if they continue to happen, and we know that we're better than the play that we're putting out there, something is going on mentally among the team that's allowing this to happen, right? And so I think that's what they're trying to attack is where is that coming from? You know what I mean?
Yep. No, that's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing to figure out in sports, not just in baseball, just in sports. Is figure out, okay, why am I in my own head? How do I get out of my own head? And trust me, if I could have figured that out a lot earlier, I wouldn't be here talking to you. I'd be on the field somewhere else. But it's easier said than done. That's for sure.
You figured it out way more than most of us. You had it figured out way more than most of us.
Not
you
enough.
didn't walk home with an outfield glove in your locker, dude. I mean, you played outfield, but could you imagine? Here you go, dude. Here's the secret.
Yeah, you're not going to see outfield.
It's not my fault, dude.
You're not going to see. Look, if they're taking the outfield glove from me,
Floyd.
Go for it.
Go.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
What I was saying is, Floyd, here's the deal. What that message basically told me that day, and I guarantee you if this happened to Jordan Thompson, he walks in on Tuesday night, there's an outfielder's glove in his locker, I would be willing to say that he'd probably go 3 for 4, and there'd be a random home run in there. Like because you know what, he'd be out of his own head, and he'd say, you know what, let me just go hit now.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the thing is I think that if he did that, he would say, okay, I can just focus on offense, and no matter how bad I'm playing, like I'm still good enough to be in the lineup, So like
absolutely,
it would give them a peace of mind for sure.
Yeah,
and maybe eventually move him back to short. I don't know.
Yeah, all outfielders do is work on their swing anyway. That's
right.
What they do in the outfield all day.
That's it. And any infielder can move to an outfield with ease because you catch pop flies in the infield. It's a different angle, yes, but if you can run fast, you can move to the outfield and be a serviciable outfielder.
Well, you were a serviceable. You didn't run very fast, but you were a serviceable outfielder.
No, because you working on angle. Ground balls, you're working on angles. So you're just cutting an angle to the ball. You know?
Nick.
But I could never play center field because you have to really have incredible angles. Left and right, it's pretty stationary.
Right. He was we had the last group of BP, and they would put on a show, and Nick would hit some poolside homers better than anybody could do it, and he was the best outfielder. He would come in and attack the ball, and he hit his cutoff man every time. It was unbelievable.
That a boy.
It was crazy. He stopped more runners. He stopped the running game more in the outfield than most outfielders do that with great arms because of that, right? So I think that was an infield. That's the infielder part moving to the outfield. Well, we're moving around.
Where are we going?
Uh-oh. Can you hear us?
I think you lost an AirPod.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Down.
Oh, he's out.
Oh, no.
And, you were just buttering him up, too.
I know. I was pumping him up.
Oh, he's back.
Can you hear me?
What just happened?
Hey, Nicholas.
What are you doing? Hello? Oh. Maybe he'll call back.
I'm going to tell him we're calling back. Or maybe he'll call back. Hey, Dougie Thompson coming in studio.
There we go, dude.
Hey,
There
things are
we
starting to work out
go.
for us. Things are starting to work out.
Oh, he's back. Let's see. Hold on.
It's an
hold on, hold on.
AirPod.
What happened?
Took an
Oh, he's
AirPod
back.
out.
He's back. He's back.
He's back in there.
So a call came in, and it boots you off the call. It boots me off this when a call comes in.
You missed. I was buttering you up.
He
dude.
was, dude.
Like,
thank you.
I was pumping you
that
up.
makes me
I was
feel
talking
good.
about
Both hands.
how fundamentally sound you were in the outfield, how great you are hitting your cutoff man.
God
and how,
bless. I love you.
Just
Thank
almost,
you.
Hey, Pimp Sundays. Pimp Sundays. Nick had the best pimp jobs on Sundays. We had
What is Pimp Sundays?
Pimp Sundays. They probably don't do that anymore because they don't have.
It's not
You
what
gotta
you
get
think.
some tradition
It's not.
going again.
It's not what you think.
It's not what you think. So you have the outfield, infield, outfield. You have fly balls. That's your last thing as an outfielder, right? You know the ground balls are in the infield. So on Sundays, we had Pimp Sundays. So you had to pimp home runs or pimp the outs, catch the ball in some creative way, and he always had the most creative.
It's nice.
Fun ways, either between the legs, behind the back, hat.
Oh
yeah, he was. And if you
Yes.
you can't do it until you catch it. You can't come in until
Do you have to use the same move
right.
every time?
No, you can change it up. You
Okay.
want
No,
you
if you
better.
start, it's like a dunk contest. Well, not like the dunk
No, you
contest.
better change it
But
up.
if you start with one, do you have to finish with that move, or can you pivot? Like if you try to go behind the back but don't catch it, can you go to a different
No, you
move?
can still do it. You can
Okay.
still do it because they're difficult. You know,
Yeah.
they're pretty difficult. But
Drop one,
he was
drop
great
one
at
in the
it.
pants.
That's a risky move. I'm not messing with that one.
It's easy to be great at something when you don't have to play that day. And so if the ball hits your private area, it's fine. Like
No big deal.
you're not playing that day, so you can. The game you're winning that day is the Pimp Sundays. You're not. You know you're not playing, so you can go take the biggest risk. You
That's
know.
it.
Exactly.
That is it. Dude.
I feel like Nick was a big flip the hat on the head guy in the dugout, just
Hey,
sitting there.
I'm telling you, he was like they were. I say they as in like the dugout crew.
The triplets.
Like
No, it's me, Buzzy, and McGee.
Yes, they were unbelievable. And y'all recruited Bo and Grant. Dozar.
That's right.
To join the squad, but like they were enormous for the team. Like,
dude, playing school, we know it's better. Sit in the bench.
Here we go. It was, you know how hard it is to pass the time, like every single day for 4 hours for 4 years. That's a lot. That's a long time sitting in the bench.
Hey, Buzzy used to walk. Buzzy used to walk on the team bus, and he'd go to like some of the young guys that didn't play, and he said, "Boy, coach didn't even look at you today. You ain't playing." What did he say? He said something.
He did.
He said something.
No, he did. Coach didn't even. No, something along those lines. You're right. Coach didn't even take a look at you today.
You get a sniff.
It's true.
But that stuff like that, everybody would laugh,
Yeah.
and everybody would like, that's just, and that's what we needed. And maybe
He's
that's, I think that's what
attention,
they're
baby.
missing.
We had a good recipe for success, Mikey. And you can't, like I told you, you can't create that type of atmosphere. It was the old school Louisiana born and bred guys that were senior laden, that weren't good enough to play, that were totally okay with the fact that they weren't good enough to play, and realized their role was to try to, hey, make this a happy, fun environment for the rest of the guys so that they can have so that they can actually play well, and we can basically hop on the backs of them and have the accolades due to their play. So
no, y'all had some big moments. You're selling yourself short. Like y'all had.
Oh no! But you know what? you don't need to.
No. We're gonna win state, but not tonight.
That's it. No. But it was a very selfless environment. But I'll tell you, it took time for all three of us to accept. You at some point you
right.
Again with this.
He's a busy man.
You cut out, Nick. You cut out.
He's getting another phone call.
Yeah.
He's a busy man. He's a very busy man. He's business Nick.
He's back.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, you're a very busy man. You got a lot of things cooking.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm good. But anyway, thank y'all for letting me even come on. And I'm not trying to kick myself off by any means.
No.
But I know
Look,
y'all have other segments to get to.
I know you have Doug Thompson's coming on. We're going to talk the whole weekend about LSU baseball.
Good.
I appreciate you coming on. I just wanted to give the flowers to the Wally Pontiff Classic because it is awesome. I love it. I'm going to be there on Tuesday, and I wanted you to go out there and promote it. And you're one of my good friends, and I wanted you to come out here and be able to have a voice to do it.
Let's start out the first pitch.
6:30 first pitch. I can't thank y'all for giving me the time to come on here and promote it. And congrats to you, Mikey, on the show. It's going incredible. Floyd, nice to meet you.
Pleasure,
you seem like you seem like an awesome sidekick to Mikey. So I've watched snippets of y'all through. I can't wait for you to keep growing in popularity.
I appreciate that.
You're actually really good at it. I actually told Mike the other day, your brother-in-law, I told him, I said, I think Mikey absolutely found his niche. I said, he is so good at this. So congrats to you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that,
Keep up the hard work.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And,
all right.
I'll see you tomorrow, man. Thank you for the tickets.
Pants up tomorrow.
Pants up. I'm
Pants
that.
up
I'll make
tomorrow.
that happen.